مساء الخير إلى جميع مشاهدي تلفزيون المستقبل في لبنان والعالم. التقيت صدفة في العاصمة الفرنسية في لوبي الفندق حيث كنا نمكث، وكان كل يوم يحمل طفله بين ذراعيه لساعات طويلة يداعبه يلاعبه ويقبل أصابعه، وكان من الواضح أنه إنسان محب وقريب. وبعد التحية والكلام والاتفاق على إجراء حوار تلفزيوني، ها نحن الليلة في لاس فيغاس مقر إقامته نحاور أسطورة كرة المضرب الحية. الليلة نلقي الضوء على ما وراء وجوه أندريه أغاسي. Andrea Agassi, thank you for being with us tonight. It's a great pleasure to have you. You are 32 years old. You are one of the oldest players of your time who still plays and wins. How do you explain your continuous success at this late life stage of a tennis player?
Well, I think for me it's twofold. It's, first of all, I've been very blessed physically to not have too many problems, because in my sport it's year-round, and there's never the off-season to recover and then to prepare. You always are sort of trying to balance your life, and if you're not healthy, it's impossible. And I find that I'm very in love with the game of tennis. I'm in love with the challenges that it offers me. Mm-hmm. I used to be motivated because I was challenged for different reasons. When I was young, I never accomplished the things that were ahead of me, and I was eager. And now I'm older, and it's just as difficult, except for different reasons. So every day I'm motivated by how I'm able to challenge myself.
Do you feel the weight of age coming, or not at all?
I do in many ways. I think to ignore getting older is a disadvantage. But I think if you understand it and you utilize it, I think it's an advantage. So I think it's a little harder physically to recover from certain matches. I think also too the eagerness every day when you're 20 years old comes a little easier, but I think with age also comes experience and the ability to be able to do some pretty special things.
Considering that Jimmy Connors has been the oldest player ever to play until the age of 40, more or less, do you think that you will go that far?
I don't think so. It's hard for me to say what's going to happen tomorrow, but my goal is to play not just for the sake of playing. I strive to be the best, and if I feel like if I play my best tennis, I can win. I can win tournaments on any given day. If I play well, I will win. Then I will push myself for that. But just because I could play at 40 and be out there competitive, I don't think will be enough for me.
Do you think that challenges keep on living inside of each one of us?
I do. I mean, I find that in any walk of life, there are things that one values. And I think if you value something, I think you should put a lot of effort to making sure that your days reflect those beliefs and reflect those priorities and reflect those values. And for me, I work at it every day, that it stays the priority, and I think everybody has that opportunity.
Andrea Agassi, you're not one of those players who keep on training on a regular basis. 4, you have always considered yourself to be more talented than the average tennis player. Or in one word, you consider yourself to be over-talented. Is this still valid today? Do you still count on your talent to win?
I do. You need it. You need to have talent. You can't have everything, and I don't have everything. But I was born with an ability to hit the tennis ball a certain way, and today, to this very day, it still is a big asset for me. If I train for 2 weeks in the gym and my running, and I don't play tennis, I can pick up the racket and it feels like it feels like I didn't stop. it comes like I'm playing with my hand, and that's an important part. It's everything for me.
What do you consider your strength to be?
As a player?
Yeah.
For me, it's my eye hand. It's my ability to take the ball early. See, if I take the ball a second earlier, I don't have to hit it as hard because you have less time. If you wait, then you have to hit it harder in order to keep your opponent guessing. But if you come quickly at the ball, you take away their time, and then you play with percentage because you don't have to hit it as big. And I think my ability is to take the ball as it bounces.
What about your weaknesses?
In my sport and many sports, the question always boils down to how does your strengths allow you to get around your weaknesses? And for me, I think I have a very limited reach. I'm not a big player. I have limited stretch. I'm not very flexible. I need to always hit the ball in front of me, so it makes me less of a good defensive player. I don't like to come to net. I'm not comfortable always with the volley because I use the big racket. And I think that I just spend a lot of time trying to get around my weaknesses.
I think whatever the sport activity we are in, the major prerequisite is regularity. In your case, the year 1997 witnessed the fall of the legendary Andrée Agassi, from top positions to back ones. You stopped training, you stopped playing, you put a lot of weight. What happened to you? How do you explain what happened?
Well, it was no surprise. Maybe it was a surprise to somebody watching, but for me it was my life and where my life was at the time. And I thought I was at the beginning of my new life, married and thinking about my future and not really sure what I wanted to do with the game of tennis anymore. And there's no in between. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. There's no just to maintain. It's not possible. You have to push yourself, and if you're lucky, you maintain and do better. And I wasn't doing that. I had other priorities. I had other goals, and then it got so bad. I got so far away, ranked 140 in the world, that I had a simple choice to make. Either I was going to commit myself entirely, or I wasn't going to play. And I think the decision was easy, but then the difficulty came, because now it's every day you have to work, every day.
This must have been the most critical decision you've taken in your life, maybe, or the turning point of your life.
My career, you know, I don't...
It was falling apart.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, it was. It wasn't... It was going to be over. You know, for me, it was still a great career. I didn't have any major regrets. But tennis has always been an opportunity for me to discover more about myself as a person. And as far as I was concerned, I would have many other opportunities in life to enjoy myself, to discover myself, to play. Tennis wasn't the crucial issue, wasn't so important.
Do you think a big star like you, a big champion like you, have the right to mix or to combine between his personal life and his career? Can't he disconnect both of them?
It requires a lot of support. I think it's possible for one person to do this only if they have the support in their personal life and in their professional life. You need your coach, the people in your professional life, to understand your personal life and what's important to you. You need the people in your personal life, your wife, your family, to understand what it is you need to do to succeed in your professional life. You need a balance, you need an understanding, you need communication, you need support.
I just need to mention one thing. At that time, you were married to model/actress Brooke Shields, in case people are not aware of what we're talking about. Please, go on.
Yeah, and you know, it's a different world, that world. The Hollywood and the sports world are two different.
Showbiz and sport.
So
but sometimes, you know, sports become part of showbiz too.
Yeah, many times I feel like it's a performance. But the work and the traveling and everything that goes around what it takes to compete is pretty strict requirements.
Andrew Agassi, I'd like a little bit here, you know, to focus on that part and to try to go deep inside of you. How did you live that period? Meaning a champion like you, adored by millions of people all over the world, is witnessing his own decline and is aware, is conscious of that decline. How did you live it?
Well,
what are you feeling?
Yeah, well, for me it's so different because when I'm going down because it's my choice. It's not that something is slipping. It's that I'm going now this direction. I think the part I haven't experienced yet is if I still want it, but I can no longer do it, then it's slipping. And you're trying to hold and you feel it slipping. And I think this is a different feeling. But for me it was a simple choice, what I had to do. And then it was a very difficult process to get back. But the feeling for me was it was caring about something else.
Then you made a comeback, a magnificent and remarkable one. How did you prepare yourself?
You know, every day. My goal was, at the end of today, I want to be one day better. Not 2 days better, and not half a day better. I want to be one day better. And this is the challenge, because you remember where you were. You're aware all the time of where you're not. And you have to keep your focus just on the step ahead of you. And if you can do one day better than 2 days, and then it builds, and you get momentum in your life, and you get confidence, and you have consistent motivation, and you're not worried about, I'm ranked now 120 in the world. You're saying, I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I can still be better tomorrow. And you don't think about it as one mountain. You think about it as each step.
Andrea Agassi tonight on Future Television. Let's stop for a break, and then we'll get back to you. Andrea Agassi, you became the 5th man in the world to win all 4 Grand Slam titles, joining the great Don Budge, Rod Laver, Fred Perry, and Roy Emerson. This is probably the biggest achievement of your life. Any comment?
Well, this is, when I was 140 in the world, if I knew what I was in store for, I would have been scared of so much regret, because I wouldn't even have thought this was possible. You know, never thought it was possible. You can say all you want, you know, oh yeah, you know, I did it, but the truth is, it would have been crazy for me to think, as a little boy, as a professional, that I could ever do something like this. And for me, that's the best part about it, is admitting that it's crazy for me to believe. I can't believe it.
That you made it.
Yeah.
Your success on all surfaces is really impressive, but where do you feel better? Is it in indoor courts, grass courts, clay courts, hard courts?
Outdoor hard court, medium paced. The court medium, not fast, not slow. Very hot. And then a little bit windy. The wind is blowing a little bit.
This is Agassi formula.
This is my best playing situation.
André, you're known to play from the baseline. In other words, you're not the serve or volleyer type of player. Still, the first big tournament you won was Wimbledon in 1992, where the big serve players usually win. Accordingly, you have named your private jet AA92, André Agassi 1992, referring to this 1992 victory. It seems it brought you a lot of luck. Is this true?
Well, this changed my life. When I won Wimbledon, I was 22 years old. I had never won a Grand Slam tournament. I lost in 3 finals. And I thought to myself after I won, it doesn't matter if I ever do anything else again in my life. This is more than I ever could have dreamed of.
This was your main objective?
No. For me, it was never to win. It was never to win. It was always to fight the challenge of what was in store for me that day. I can be number 1 in the world, and I don't go into a tournament and think, I'm going to win this tournament. I think if you're on the other side of the net, I got to figure out a way to beat you. And if I can do that 7 times, I'll win, but it's impossible to think about winning today. I got to think about this. So my mind is very specific in my goals. And at the end of it all, I'm probably as surprised as anybody.
But you know, victory is something we all strive for, something we all look for. Whatever our field is, we try always, you know, to have victory, to win, you know. We're human beings, finally.
Yeah, but they're all victories. Winning a tournament is not only the victory. Winning a point is a victory. And it's what you consider victory. And for me, every moment is an opportunity to succeed, to challenge myself. And so in one match, I win many times. In one tournament, you have to win many times. In one career, you win many times. But to think about the victory that is a week away, a year away, is a waste of energy.
Besides all the trophies, besides, you know, all the certificates you had, what have you won throughout your career?
Well, I think I've won the opportunity to spend my life thinking about the things that are most important. Most people have to think their whole life about how are they going to pay the bill, how are they going to get by at the end of the day. You know, I'm blessed by God. I don't have to think about that. It allows me to spend my day thinking about my little boy, my son, thinking about my wife, thinking about my faith, thinking about my time spent with my friends. And I have an incredible life because I have those things.
Now by talking about it, you know, we're feeling it through your eyes.
I'm a blessed man, and to me, you fit in 2 categories in life. There's the category of people that say, I didn't ask to be born, therefore life owes me something. And then there's others that say, I didn't ask for this, therefore I'm thankful for it. And I commit myself every day to be thankful for the gift of life. And there are many, many times in one day, if you look long enough, that you find many things to be thankful for.
They say that you used to have bad temper on courts, and that made you lose a lot of games. As years went through, it seems also that you have acquired a lot of maturity, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of self-control. Is this true?
I think more so. I hope I can say about myself that I've gotten smarter over the years. I think I have a long ways to go. But my anger in tennis always was so internal. It was about my own struggles with the challenges in the game. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that the best way to fight those challenges and those difficulties is to keep your head down, to keep your eyes and your mind on the goal, no matter what happens. Never forget what you're trying to do and how you have to go about doing it. And I think with age and experience, you learn this, not to let things detour you, to keep the road, to keep the path, and it's very difficult at times.
Tennis experts used to consider you as an impulsive player, till your famous game against Brad Gilbert in the mid-90s. You always used to go for the ball, as they say, and here I'm quoting the tennis experts. Why was this game a turning point in their judgment towards your strategy in playing?
Well, I used to consider every ball an opportunity to do something special, you know, because I felt like I could. I was always trying to play perfect every ball. And then I realized that I don't have to play perfect. I just have to play better than you. And that means I can either play very good, or it means I can make you play not so good. And this is what brought a very strong consistency to my game.
Brad Gilbert became later on your personal trainer, and he told you one day, I know how to defeat you, and I know how to make you number one. A famous saying, it seems, in the tennis world. Was he right, and do you owe him?
I mean, Brad has helped me to learn how to play the game of tennis the way that I play it now. And I'm very thankful for everything he's given. And I can only hope that he feels thankful for what I've given him. So friends don't owe friends.
From Nick Boltieri to Brad Gilbert to Darren Cahill, 3 different coaches. How come you aren't able to stick to one coach?
I think for a few reasons. I think I was 14 years old, 13 when I went to Nick. And I think he taught me well to a certain point. And then I needed somebody that's been out there, that's done it. And this is where Brad Gilbert came in. 8 years with Brad Gilbert, and we decided that it's always sensitive because so little separates every player. And the one thing you can't afford is for a player and a coach to become stale or too comfortable. And I think after 8 years, we had done the most that we could do for each other.
Do you feel that you still have something to learn after that long experience?
Yeah, something. Yeah, always something to learn. Always.
Such as what?
I haven't learned it yet. I haven't learned it yet.
What do you feel is lacking you today?
Well, I think I can become a better athlete. I think I can become stronger, faster. I think I can always concentrate better. And I think the result of that will be my game hitting higher levels.
Better than what you're doing now?
Yeah, if I couldn't get better, or at least if I didn't believe I could get better, I wouldn't have a whole lot of interest.
Andrea Agassi and What Lies Behind Faces will be back right after this.
Taking the first 2 sets off Agassi and then breaking immediately in the third to go 2-love up, and just 4 games from a famous victory. But Agassi hit back and Matthias started spraying unforced errors around the court, losing the last 3 sets. The match point shows, however, Matthias' range of shots and courage. We'll be seeing a lot more of this young player in tournaments to come.
Andrea Agassi, you married to a legendary champion in tennis, Steffi Graf. Tennis was definitely your first link. How did you both meet?
Well, we've always known of each other through many years on the tour, but we met, started spending time together after we won in Paris in 1999 for the French Open. And we congratulated each other, and
that was it.
Started talking.
Steffi Graf is retired today. Do you train sometimes together?
Yeah, we still do. We still do. We love to hit the ball together. It's quite a thrill to be able to share something you've done your whole life, to share together so intimately.
Is she your inspiration today?
She inspires me every day for many reasons. Many reasons. She's an incredible person.
You have a baby boy, and he's adorable, and you're so crazy about him. Did your son change your life?
Yeah, I sleep a lot less now. This is for sure. And I think there's something really special about looking at the world through the eyes, the lens of a child. You see the world differently. You see the things that are worth appreciating. You know, you see the simple things in a whole new light. That you take them in, they're important to you again.
The perception of things becomes different.
Yeah, and you also see the tragedy in the world as something that affects you very personally. And everything is heightened, everything is very sensitive. So he's changed my perspective, everything.
Is he going to be a future champion?
You know, if he's a champion in his own eyes, then he's succeeded. If he can look himself in the mirror and say, that's the man that I've wanted to be, then he's succeeded.
But by having, the father he has, by having the mother he has, these are, crucial ingredients to make out of him, a future champion, no? Don't you think so?
Yeah, I define champion probably differently than most people. You know, it's not what you do on the tennis court. Where he puts his energies and what's important to him, I wait anxiously to discover these things. But who he is as a person, who he is as a man, the responsibility he accepts for himself, how he views the world, how he views others, how he views himself, these things are, they get us through.
Is it true that you have already had interesting offers from different sponsors to sign contracts with them on behalf of your son in case you decide to start training him soon?
Nobody that knows me would ever bring me something like this, because so if it's happened, I do not know about it. Maybe it's happened, I do not know.
You were introduced to tennis by your father and mother at an early age. Do you think will history repeat itself?
Well, I think introducing to the game it's impossible not to. I enjoy to play. My wife enjoys to play. We play. So to introduce my son to the game is
natural.
It's It's nature. It's going to happen. Where it goes from there it's not a choice for me to make.
Your father took part in the 1952 Olympic Games, and he represented Iran as a boxer. Is this true?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you interested in discovering Iran?
I've always had interest in my father's history, because it's my history. So, this is, yes, I'm interested.
You have Persian roots, and the original family name is Agassi. Are you interested in the Persian/Armenian culture?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I find that all the Armenians and the Persians that I've known through my life, they take their shirt off. They give you the clothes on their body. They're the heart is so warm. This has to come from something deeper. Very interested.
So this is where you got, this habit of throwing your T-shirt at the end of the game to the public. A T-shirt full of sweat, and this is what used to make women feel happy.
Yeah, but the one thing you never saw is when the cameras showed me throw the shirt, and then they threw it back.
You should know that there is a big Armenian community in Lebanon. And you should now, look at the camera, read them, say hello.
Yeah, well, hello to our Armenian friends.
A last break before we end up this face-to-face interview with Andrea Agassi on Future TV. Andrea Agassi, who was your toughest opponent throughout your tennis life?
Myself. I made more matches difficult for myself than anybody ever made for me. But Sampras is the best that I've ever played.
When you wake up in the morning and when you stare at the mirror, what do you see?
I see somebody that's trying to get better. Somebody's trying to get better as a player, as a man, as a person. That's trying to fight through another day.
When do you see yourself a loser, and when do you see yourself a winner?
For me, it's about playing as hard as you can and leaving it on the court. Sometimes you play as hard as you can and you lose, or you win. And you go home and the loss, it eats you. It makes you sad, it makes you frustrated, and you take it home with you. And sometimes you win and you take it home. You say, because I won, I should be so happy. And for me, I always strive more for consistency. So I feel like the best winner when I can do my work with professionalism and leave it at the office.
You've just mentioned the name of Pete Sampras. What was your best memory in your history together?
Every match that I won is the best. I think of all the matches I've beaten him, and I like those the best. But we've had many. We've had many.
Andrea Agassi, besides tennis playing, what are your hobbies?
This is, it's impossible to have time for hobbies now in my life. It's not, my escapes are my family, my escapes are cooking, being home and not in a suitcase, but opening your closet to take some clothes.
What do you cook?
I like to cook meats. I like to cook steaks and soups. I enjoy a lot of soups.
What about pasta?
Yeah, but it's a little bit boring for me. The sauce you can really... I like something that you have to put many things together and complete meal, you know.
Talking about cooking and food, you're known or you're famous for your eating habits. You are or you were a junk food lover and addict. As you grew older, did you remain or did you change your eating habits?
Oh yeah, I've had to. I've had to. I used to enjoy anything that didn't fight back. I would say then I eat it. If it doesn't fight, I eat it. And but as I've gotten older, it's changed a lot. It's been tougher for me to do that, so I try to make better choices.
How do you keep in good shape?
Hard work. I train with weights, train with running. Every day. Every day something.
For example, today, what was your schedule?
Today I went in and lifted weights for an hour and 20 minutes. And I went out to my hill and I ran the hill. Did sprints forward, sprints backwards, side steps, shuffling sideways the other way.
This is a daily discipline, huh?
It's your life. I mean, it's your life. At the end of the day, you enjoy your day more if you take care of your work. So I treat it like that. I get up, I go to work, I finish it in 2 hours, which is not much time at all. 2 hours of your day, you go, you finished, and then you enjoy everything. If you give yourself these 2 hours and you don't work, then 24 hours doesn't feel good.
I heard you like sports cars a lot. How many ones do you have?
Old news.
Old news.
Old news.
Now you've changed now?
Teenager. I was a teenager and had many sports cars.
Not anymore.
No.
And what about the famous Lamborghini?
No. No Lamborghini. I have a big car that if there's an accident, my boy is safe.
Andrea Agassi, where do you put yourself among Borg, McEnroe, and Connors?
This is impossible for me to be objective. I have no perspective on history and how I fit. I will tell you, if I played any of them, I would go out there and want to win. But that's just because it's what I've done my whole life.
Today, who is the man to beat?
Well, I mean, Hewitt has now been #1 in the world 2 years in a row. So he's proven his place right now. So you have to give him credit for where he is right now. For me, to finish #1 in the world is a result of a long year, but to play your best tennis and to win is what's inspiring. So if you play your best tennis at the slams and you win the slams, that's the best accomplishment. And I think he's proven himself, but every time I go on the court, I want to believe you have to beat me to win.
Andrea Agassi, you're known to be a loyal friend, and you're known to be somebody who makes everything to preserve his friends. For instance, Perry Rogers, who is your agent, is your childhood friend. What does friendship mean to you?
It's a word I don't use very lightly. It means somebody that you can always count on. It means being there for somebody. When I think about friendship, I think about responsibility, loyalty, commitment. You know, somebody comes to me and says, "Get ready, they're coming." If they're my friend, I say to them, "How many are there?" I don't ask why, what. Just tell me how many there are.
I feel that you had a lot of deceptions in your life concerning this matter.
Well, I think I've been disappointed a lot by people. I've been disappointed a lot. I've also been inspired by many people. So I think life is the balance of the two.
You're also known to be very generous with the people who work with you. Is this true?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. My father was never had a lot, but he always worked hard for what we did have. But he made his money from people giving because he worked in Las Vegas, where his income was on tips. If he sits somebody down, they give him a few dollars. So his life and our life, my life, was a result of people giving. When he have a cup of coffee that cost $2, he would leave $2 as well. Even though he didn't have a lot to give, he always gave. Because he saw the waitress, he saw the waiter, he saw the person working, and he thought, maybe they need this more than I do. And one of many things my father's taught me to consider.
So you consider generosity is something inherited?
Yeah, I think it's environmental. I think it's empathy. I think it's looking at life through the lens, through the eyes of somebody else. Not just how you see it, how they might see it.
So that's why you are involved into charity and foundations and helping kids and children?
Well, I don't know if this is the reason. I think I find that it's very easy to be committed to changing a child's life. My foundation affects children. So for me this is natural. To not do it is something that would have to be explained. You would have to explain to me why doesn't everybody do it? Because it seems only natural.
Well, it's been a wonderful opportunity to watch what a child does with opportunity. These children now have a chance, and how they've excelled is phenomenal. The results speak for themselves. How these kids have sort of, when it opened, 14% of them read at grade level, 14%, and less than a year later, 85% of them do, or nearly 85%. That's phenomenal. It just, again, it shows you what a child is capable of if given the chance.
Thanks, Ray.
Here, straight ahead. Andre, up here, please. Andre, right here, please. Andre, straight ahead, please. Everybody right here, right? Andre, switch here. Everybody to the... Andre. La 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 la. La 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 la. La. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
How important is money to you?
Money? At the end of the day, I think it's easy to say it doesn't matter. I think money can take care of many pressures that life has, which gives you time to spend on the important things. This is a great luxury. I consider it a blessing. But if it wasn't there, I would still say there are many blessings in a day.
Andrew Agassi, thank you for having been with us tonight. It was a great pleasure to host you. Would you like to add something at the end of the show?
Well, I don't know what to say, except that one day I hope to come experience your culture and your world, and that we all are on the same island, the same world together. So let's always try to make it a better place. Let's leave this world better off than it was when we got here.
I wish you the best for the future, and I wish that all the challenges you have will be all won by yourself. Thank you, good luck, and have a nice evening. تصبحوا على خير.